I just ink directly in Photoshop, and I wish I could do what Hawk did, because what Hawk does a lot of the times is he'll use Illustrator or Flash and just go vector. I wish I could do that, because you're doing vector and you can make it any size you want, there's no resolution on it or anything like that. The only thing I will tell you if you decide to go the digital route is to speed the process along, use your tablet for everything from surfing to playing video games, everything you can do to get you used to working the tablet itself and getting your hand-eye coordination out.
This is important to me. How soon do you think we should start going to conventions?
How soon do you think we should start going? How soon do you start going to conventions? Well, it depends on.
Have a comic up it.
Yeah, you have the comic up.
How soon after establishment?
It depends on you, really. Going to conventions is a great way to build an audience. It helps to have the audience already to say, "Hey, everyone, I'm going to be at this convention. Come and see me." But I found that coming to cons is at least it's for me, has been a vital part of building an audience. So because just as opposed to seeing one of like hundreds of thousands of other sites that anyone could see, if they go to a con and they see you there, grinning at them behind a table, handing them a business card, they can put a face to the site and say, "Hey, I met that guy. He seemed really nice, that girl. They seemed really nice. I should go check out their website." And maybe they'll stick around. Maybe they'll just browse on by and forget about you forever. But that's the chance you have to take. I would say it's a more personal decision. I mean, there is no line to say when you have X amount of readers, that is when you hit a convention. I mean, there is no rule for that. I mean, you can have one reader. It could be your mother. And she could say, "Yeah, honey, go to the convention." And you can say, "My mom calls me Thunder."
My mom thinks I'm cool.
My mom thinks I'm awesome. Maybe they should. So, but, when you're starting out, though, don't be disappointed when you go to a con, because, I mean, you are just getting started, and not a lot of people are going to know who you are. But that's the whole process. Going to a con is the vehicle with which you will get people to come back to you at other cons in the area or even elsewhere and say, "Hey, I saw you at something con. You were really nice. I got your flyer, and I've been reading your work since then. Now I'll buy something from you." So it's an investment. I mean, you have to spend money to make money, and cons are basically a prime example of that. Is it worth it? Yes. Will you be disappointed some days? Yes. But in the long run, definitely worth it, because it's also a great way of networking. Because that way, hey, I met someone in their news post and say, "Hey, I met Link." Well, not Link, but I met so-and-so, and then make you a link.
Yeah.
And then people who read that comic will click and say, "This is really, really cool," or forget about it. But again, networking, putting your face out there, so it all depends on how much courage you have.
Well, I'm at zero doing conventions before I even had a webcomic, and I was sitting there at, what was it, Ikkicon?
Yeah.
Next to the pool. They put the artist alley next to the pool, paper products next to water. Great idea! And then we're not working because it was Ikkicon. I said, "I'm thinking about doing a webcomic, but I don't think anybody would read it." And he's all like, "Shut up and do it." I'm like, "Yes, sir." So, I got...
So it's your fault.
It is
Pretty much. So, going to conventions, you meet other webcomic artists, and then you find, people to A, support you in what you do, B, somebody to go to when you have a question, and then, later somebody will come to you and say, "I have a question about webcomics," and you go, "I know what to tell you, because that guy over there told me." So, it's a good way to network with other webcomic artists and just other artists in general. So, yeah.
And no offense on this, but Amelie really is living proof of the entire approach to conventions and increasing the popularity shtick. Because I remember when she started, it was small little table launch. She had really just her portfolio and some paper and sketching. And then go look at her table now. And she has these giant powers and everything.
Yeah, I'm a whole one now.
Yes. And she had an army dedicated to her, and that's what it is. She was persistent. She didn't give up. She went to every con she could, and she just made her presence felt, so to speak. And it can work, but it takes time, and it does take dedication. And there will be times where you just sit there and it's like, I don't bloody need this. But if you are dedicated to your work, and that's the big thing, if you're going to do a webcomic or any kind of creative enterprise, love it. And that will carry you through those really disappointing times. Any other questions?
Questions was a peanut gallery.
Yeah. One tiny question.
Okay.
What do you deal with the uber obsessive fans that sound very, very scary?
How do we live with the uber obsessive fans that sound very scary?
Mace.
Mace.
Thanks.
Guard dogs, barbed wire. The uber obsessive fans are frightening. They're both flattering and they're frightening. On the flattering side, you know, it's like, wow, somebody really cares this much about my doodles on the internet. Oh, cool. On the other hand, oh God, somebody cares this much about my doodles on the internet, and I've ruined their day by giving a character a haircut. Oh God, he's outside my window. Once, this is actually a pretty kind of scary story. Once I was getting ready for bed a couple of years ago, like 12, like after midnight, my phone rings, and it's like, it's a phone number I've never seen before. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? Hello? 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 Oh, is this Mookie? And immediately I think it's one of my friends just screwing with me. It wasn't him. And I was like, yes, who's this? And all of a sudden I just started oh my God. Who is this? I just want to tell you I'm a real big fan of your work. It's 12:30 at night, by the way. I'm in my pajamas. It's a nightcap and everything. Teddy bear. This point I'm holding my teddy bear, like looking out the window. How did you get this number? Turns out when I registered for the web, the hosting I was using, I made the mistake of putting my phone number in the submission. In the submission bar, I didn't know someone could just, at the time, like, how'd you get this number? Oh, I just used X and X program to look at your registration file and found your phone number. And address. Please don't ever call this number again. Like, I got out of bed, I went to the phone. It's funny, which is actually, it's kind of, I never heard from him again. And it was really scary.
I'm very sorry.
I was One, it was kind of scary because this guy.
There's a time difference.
This guy just got my phone number. I was like, oh God. But on the other hand, he honestly didn't think he was doing anything wrong. He just thought he was calling me to compliment. So on the one hand, oh, how nice. But most of the other hand is like, oh God. But on the funny side, my girlfriend at the time, she of course freaked out, like any rational person would, and said, oh God, anybody who's online can find you with anything. Like, Christy, wait, all right, let's disprove this first of all. So I put her name into Google, my girlfriend, and I put her name into Google. It's a very common name. Actually, if I tell you, you're not going to find her name. It's Christy Burke. I know you've all heard of her. But I entered that into Google. I found a picture of an Irish councilman in Dublin. Ugly dude, too. Yeah, you gotta have some constitution because people will, if you do garner an audience that is caring enough to come after you like that, you have to have some constitution and not get freaked out enough to kind of just muscle through it.
Actually, a lot of nicer folk bring cupcakes.
Exactly, because there's so many nicer ones who are just quiet and content and won't make any noise. Because if you're happy, you're quiet. You're like, how you doing? La la la. Click, comic. Excellent. Okay, hello. Rest of the day. Rest of my life, you know. It's that very, very tiny minority of fans that just, over, you gave him a haircut, the comic is ruined. If 20 people give you a hug and one person kicks you in the nuts, who are you going to remember? That's the analogy.